Happy Pick Six Day to all the homies out there.
Thank you.
We're going to start number one here in a game that had a pick six, Will Levis, and that basically cost Tennessee the game.
The greatest quote of the week is Brian Callahan going, well, I think if we punted on first down the whole second half, we would have won the game. That was an incredible quote by him. He said that, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. If we just punted on first down, we would have won the game.
But wasn't one of them a blocked punt? No, it was no.
Yeah,
that was
one of them, the touchdowns was a blocked punt.
So that kind of ruins that.
But they
theory,
had a strip sack fumble and that play there itself that led to points as well.
That's true.
He is true.
It was like the special teams wasn't great either.
It wasn't
Brian.
great. You're right.
But we're going to talk about that game in the context of the other quarterbacks. So the first of six, we're going to talk about Caleb Williams here, and there we got quarterbacks galore. We're going to talk a little Aaron Rodgers, a little. Jordan Love and the Packers, some Kirk Cousins too. But we're going to start with the number one overall pick this past year, Caleb Williams. Officer Nordberg says, what went right for Caleb Williams? Or if that's not enough content, what went wrong and why? So you're watching these games on Sunday, as we talk about. You're watching along with everyone. You're locked in too, and especially with Caleb. So you feel like you have a pretty good feel. But when you watch the film, things are revealed.
Right.
And so you've dived a little bit deeper into Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
What'd you find?
Yeah. Well, Officer Nordberg, I love that. I think that's from Naked Gun. I don't know if you know that. I think that's who that is. Nordberg, right? And that's him. He's Nordberg.
Okay.
But
thanks for listening to the pod, Nordberg.
Great. Just make sure you turn the mic off when you go to the urinal, okay? But either way, with Caleb Williams, yes, you said it right. I'm always locked into the top quarterbacks. I very rarely let them out of my vision when it comes to Mahomes, Allen, the young studs, whatever else that way. So as I watch the game and what I said on Sunday night, I feel good about. The one thing I think that I didn't really realize until I watched it back yesterday was he was under tremendous pressure. Right, that was one thing, right? But the other things I talked about as far as Sunday night and a little bit on our podcast Sunday night, doing all of that, and it jumps out to me once again watching it back. They really gave him no chance early on in the football game. It was one of those where, hey, let's bring him along slowly, let's get him in rhythm, let's do some simple things. But yeah, the Titans were ready for that approach, and let alone the interior part of the offensive line by the Chicago Bears got absolutely whooped by some of the Titan D tackles during the football game. So I think there was a little bit of that went on. But you saw my notes. I sent them to you yesterday. I mean, the first few series, it was first down run. And then it was like, hey, we're in 2nd and 9. And a few of those times they ran or they just threw like a wide receiver screen. That's, again, led to 3rd and not the best position for a young quarterback in his first game ever, right? Oh, hey, it's 3rd and 11 now, right? And now the Titans can dial up whatever the they want on defense, right? Blitz, crazy coverage, guys dropping, whatever. That's the green light defensive down for a defensive coordinator, right? And yeah, that did not exactly lay itself out for success for Caleb Williams, let alone, he missed some throws and would like some things back too.
How many do you think in the course of the whole game did he miss? You're like, oh man, that's not the Caleb Williams I saw in college.
Realistically, I mean, he missed the out and up during the across the left sideline. He might have had another throw where like Keenan Allen was to his right, and it looked more of like he didn't miss the throw. It's like he led Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen was sitting in the zone. Like, wait, no, I don't want to run there. I'm going to get killed by the linebacker. Keep me here. And I think he threw it like, hey, stay on the run a little bit, and I'll hit you. So, there was that. But I think overall, when I just look at missed throws, I really think there was only 1 or 2 that I would go, wow, he missed that. He definitely should have hit it. I think it was 2, honestly, because he has another play where he's going to hit about a 20-yard out route, but his arm got hit as he was throwing, and I don't think it went down as a batted ball. He had the batted ball issues because the interior part of the offensive line got dominated a few times where it just gave him no chance to throw it anyways.
Yeah.
I think you saw enough to see that.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a second, but I think maybe a concern of a couple Bears fans, and Kurdek 187 was one of them, about how the ball was coming out of his hand a couple times. Bears fans who are concerned about the way the ball comes out of Caleb Williams' hand. On the would-be touchdown pass to Keenan Allen that he dropped, the pass was a duck. I saw a few fluttering passes. I've heard you speak of not throwing a catchable ball.
Right.
Should I be concerned here?
No, you should not be concerned. I think those are, again, things that I wouldn't classify that nearly as a duck, right? I've watched that play on TV, and so it wasn't a perfect spiral. spiral. I get you, right? But it still was on the money perfect. What I would call there is like a hard wobbler. That's what I call those type of balls. And yeah, you'd like to throw spirals to make it easy and catchable and all that too, but that ball should have been caught, 99.9 times out of 100, right? That's a slam dunk there. I don't think you have to worry about that. Two, when you're uncomfortable and you don't get in the flow, I've been in these situations. Yeah, the ball doesn't come out of your hand clean because you're rushing things and just everything's a little off sync, right? Because, oh gosh, and I don't feel like myself. So you might rush the turn of your upper body, or you hasten things up and try to throw with your arm a little bit more because you're nervous and all that. So I would agree with the sentiment that the ball didn't come out of his hand as clean as it usually does. No doubt about that, right? But at the same time, not enough of a duck or a quacker where I'm going, oh man, guys, they can't catch that football. It wasn't to that extent, right? As I tell my son all the time, because he does this too, I go, Peyton Manning had parts of his career where he never threw a spiral. And we don't go back and go, well, he didn't throw spirals in that game. We go, he was 24 for 28 for 385 yards and 4 touchdowns. Who the cares about the spiral, right? So there is a little bit of that, but of course you prefer a spiral.
Yeah, and a bigger deal if you are playing outdoors in some elements and some wind.
Definitely.
That's when
he
it becomes
can spin it, certainly.
Right.
I think there's a little nerves and everything that go into that first game.
So we're going to go into your notebook, and last year we were desperate for a sponsor, but it was brought to you by nobody. Some homies stepped up and tried to just put their name on it, but we have a sponsor this time. It is Home Team Help presented by Lowe's inside the notebook. Man, I'm going to go to Lowe's, buy some wood after we're done here because they're helping us out left and right. So we go inside the notebook to something you have alluded to a couple times now.
Yeah.
The cursive writing is back,
it's
by
back,
the way,
baby.
if you're watching on YouTube or Peacock right now. You had gushing praise for Tavondre Sweat and
Keandre Coburn.
Keandre Coburn, a 5th-round pick.
Both Texas guys.
Out of Texas a couple years ago.
Right.
Both guys, giant human beings, around 350.
Yes.
And they were dominant.
They were dominant, and if there was anything that you're concerned about, looking forward as far as the Chicago Bears and their offensive line, and they're playing the Houston Texans this week, it is that, will they handle the interior part of the D-line for the Houston Texans? When you go back and watch the game, the Tevin Jenkins and Coleman Shelton, their center, and their left guard, Tevin Jenkins, they were the ones to me that jumped out more than anything. Nate Davis did a solid job, but those two definitely struggled in some areas where they were, big guys pushing the pocket or just getting on the edge of them and making a move, and that's where Tavondre Sweat, again, for 346 pounds, he is some good athlete.
He looked better in that game than he did in
all the college
film.
stuff we watched, right? And that just shows you, too, again, the NFL. College, you're a top recruit, and they want to make sure you stay happy, so you tell your other guys at your school, hey, come to here, and they want to make sure, he's going to the NFL. We want to make sure he talks good about us. That's where college can be a little different. The NFL, they get there, they go, yeah, you're a 2nd-round pick. Congratulations. Welcome to the team. And then the first practice goes by. They go, what the are you doing, kid? What are you doing? You got to play harder than that. You better chase the ball. And then you have some of your defensive linemen start to call you out and be like, hey, man, come on. What are you doing? That's not how we practice around here. And it raises your level, right? We've talked about this before with offense and defensive linemen, the hot poker up your ass respect, right? There's part of that. And I do think we saw that, and I agree with your sentiment there all the way.
He did talk to Connor Rogers at the Combine.
Yeah.
Pete was showing me this,
right.
And he said to Connor, he goes, school's tough. It was easier this year for me because all I had was like one elective at the YMCA where I had to volunteer as like an internship.
Yeah.
He goes, but who knows? Maybe it was just everything with college
It could
football.
be. When you get to just focus on football and do that, you can raise your game too. There's it's an underrated, or overlooked factor as far as that. Again, he's not eating on the run maybe as much, right? He's going, wait, I'm going to sit down and have a grilled chicken with broccoli and a salad and do the right things. Where you're at school, you're like, well, shit, I'm in a rush. I got to go to class. Oh, there's a burger with cheese and bacon, blah, 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 and I eat it, right? It's everything goes up, let alone you're with other professionals who teach you how to train. They start to show you a few tricks on how to use your hands, and all of a sudden it unlocks potential that has been there, and that looks certainly like there's something brewing there with T'Vondre Sweat and Keandre Coleman as his backup.
Well, according
both
to
Texas boys,
according to PFF,
Yeah.
the pass rush grade by a defensive tackle in Week 1, Dexter Lawrence, number 1. Pete
Shocker.
goes, of course.
Shocker.
Number 2 was T'Vondre Sweat.
Yeah.
And Keandre Coleman, he was a former 6th-round pick.
Yep.
By Kansas City last year.
Yeah.
Waived. The Broncos got him. And then back to Kansas City. And then
Practice
waived,
squad and
claimed by the Titans in December.
Wow.
So he's been around, but he looked good, according to you.
They are obviously unlocking him as well.
And put Caleb Williams under pressure, so we have extrapolated the under pressure and not under pressure stats for Caleb Williams. And I feel like these are fairly typical for any quarterback you will see. He was definitely having issues when they pressured him.
Yeah, definitely issues. And again, hey, there's pressure, and then there's like, wow, that's severe pressure. And I would say on some of those plays, it was severe pressure. It wasn't like, oh, the pocket's collapsing and he's got a place to go. It was like, oh no, he can't even look at the first read, and he's having to, get out of dodge or go to the fail-safe backyard plan almost immediately. So that was the big thing. But getting back to also him personally and the positions they put him in, and again, that goes a little bit into, pressure, because we know you're going to throw the ball and what you've done in the down and distance to kind of unlock us to go, we don't have to worry about the run here. When he got back, when they threw the ball on first down, there was success there. That's the thing you saw too. So that's where I think things will change this week when they play the Houston Texans. They're not going to be able to beat Houston if they come out with that same offensive attack. Like just the vanilla, hey, we got a rookie quarterback, we're going to break him in easy. Not against this defense in Houston. They're flying around. They're going to be all over some of that basic bullshit, right? So that's where I think they're going to have to kind of open it up this time around, and hopefully they do. Because I don't think they gave him a proper chance, or their offense a proper chance to really start functioning at a high level.
Good preview of our Sunday night football game, Texans-Bears. Houston currently a 6.5-point favorite to beat Caleb Williams and Chicago, even their record up at 1-1. That was Lowe's Home Team Help, brought to you by our presenting sponsor in Lowe's. How many of those pressures were Caleb created, you think? Because that was part of the concern coming out of USC. It's like, you're not going to be able to get away with dancing behind the line of scrimmage and get rid of the ball.
Right. Like there's, like he took the big sack to give him 2nd and 29 at one point, and that was one of the plays I think T'Vondre Sweat came right up the middle.
Yeah.
Right. He's going to realize, like, wait, you can't get out of every jam anymore in the NFL. Sometimes you're just like, hey, throw it away. You're not going to make this guy miss and then, start up the engine again and outrun the other guy that's been chasing you while you were trying to make that first guy miss. That's where he's going to learn, like, there's plays where, hey, I can get out of dodge and make something magic happen. There's plays where it's just like, no, the shit hit the fan. We got to throw it away and we'll live to play another down, right? And that's where I think he's got to learn that. Again, his patience in the pocket is up there with anybody. I don't worry about that part. That's where it's a misleading thing that people talk about. When he has time, he will stand in the pocket all day long, right? Now, when he doesn't have time and he gets out of the pocket, that goes back to what we were saying there and having that, guardrail or whatever to not make things worse, right? And I think that'll be a big thing. He dropped the 3rd down snap, right? That was big. That showed a fluster. He was going to have somebody open for a first down. Even the play after he threw the drop pass touchdown to Keenan Allen, he was going to throw a touchdown pass the very next play to Keenan Allen again. I mean, he was open. And the ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage because the left guard, Tevin Jenkins, I believe on that play, got pushed back into his face, and he tried to throw a little sidearm Mahomes laser, and there just was nowhere to put the ball. So, they protected like crap. Like I said, he missed a few throws, certainly. And like I talked about, I think they got to be a little more creative and a little more aggressive on the offensive side of the ball. They did nothing to really back off the Tennessee Titans the whole day.
Sure.
And it didn't help out their run game, and it didn't help with their pass game. So I think they'll get back and recalibrate.
And they still got to win, which is the best part of all for the Chicago Bears.
It's amazing. Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.